Hey, so this is Brett, and I'm in sunny old England today, and here with Sandy again. So, how are you, Sandy?
I am very good. How are you?
Yeah, doing well, thank you. Yeah, it's
Sunny old California too.
excellent, good stuff. Yeah, the spring is coming,
Awesome.
almost there. Great. And it is amazing, actually. I was just telling my wife just before we recorded on this that it felt so late in the day
Mm,
for me that we were recording the Lightning Tools chat being at 4 p.m. UK time, and now it feels like we're halfway through the day because
yep.
it's still daylight for a couple more hours yet. So it's
And we just changed our clocks here, so yeah, it was pretty awesome to have sunlight at it was like 7 p.m. last night.
yeah, we're a couple of weeks behind you, so I think we're changing our clocks not this weekend but the weekend after.
Mm,
So yeah, which is all good. So, yeah, we've just done a Lightning Conductor release.
yep.
We released 3.5 of the Lightning Conductor, and for the most part, it went really well. I think there's some good feedback from
Mhm.
the new views and especially things like the people cards. When I've been
Mm,
demonstrating that, yeah, users really love those capabilities, and also the rounded sort of modern look and feel to the conditional formatting now. So it's not just a
mm.
blocky. It looked a bit like Minecraft, I guess, the way that the
Or
cells be
Excel,
colored in.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Whereas now you've got like the nice sort of pill
right.
shaped
Yeah.
formatting,
Yeah.
and yeah, it looks great. So really nice features in there. But
Mm.
yeah, the part of doing the Lightning Tools chat is to get you to know the real us and who Lightning Tools is and everything. So we're not going to hide. We're going to mention that we did have a bit of a teething problem. And
Right.
Sandy, I'll let you talk about that one.
Yeah, we had a couple of our customers come into tech support after the update to say that they had users who are still using IE 11 as their browser, and they were seeing a problem with the new Lightning Conductor. And the reason for that is that the new version that has these user experience updates, the profile cards, and the task views, for example, our developers created those using Microsoft's Graph Toolkit, and that is not supported in Internet Explorer 11. I think partly because Microsoft themselves are no longer going to be supporting IE 11 as of some date in August this summer. I don't recall the exact date, but at that point, as I understand it, Microsoft 365 itself will just not be supported with IE 11 or legacy Microsoft Edge. So there's the newer Microsoft Edge that uses Chromium. That's fine. But the older Edge, which went out of support last week, I think March 9th, I believe, that's also not supported. So the parts of the Lightning Conductor developed with the Graph Toolkit won't work in either of those browsers. But I mean, people are going to need, if they're using Microsoft 365, which obviously they are, or they wouldn't be using Lightning Conductor, then they're going to need to have their users change to a different browser. So it could be the newer Edge or Google Chrome or really any of the other modern browsers. But in the meantime, we can provide a build of the Lightning Conductor that doesn't have those shiny new features, but that does work in those browsers. So that would be kind of up to the customer which way they'd like to go, if they'd like to switch browsers or if they'd like to kind of downgrade a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because it's
Uh-huh.
something that it didn't come really as a surprise to us that we knew that you needed to not be on these legacy versions of the browser to take advantage of this. But we knew what Microsoft's stance was as well, and it really is a challenge because we are an innovative company. We want to be moving and delivering these shiny features, as you put it. But the people cards, they really are valuable
Right.
inside things like the document library aggregation and the task list aggregation and so on. Um, it's not just about looking shiny and pretty. It's actually really helpful.
Right.
If you see that somebody's left their document checked out because you can see that in the document aggregation. the fact that it's checked out to a particular user. Well, in a large company, you might not know who that user is.
Mhm.
So actually being able to display the avatar, yeah, of course you get to see a picture of them, but as you hover your mouse over that, you get to see the card pop out, and then you can start a chat with them, you can send them an email, and all of that information is available for you to communicate with that person. It may be just, can you please check in this document? You got it checked out to you, something like that. So it is delivering functionality, which
Right.
is great.
And same will be true for the new releases of Social Squared and Deliver Point that are going to include those profile cards as well. And again, for that added functionality, if you're talking with somebody in a Social Squared forum and you want to direct message them, then you'll be able to do that. Or same in Deliver Point, if you're um, looking at people's permissions, you see somebody has a permission that maybe they shouldn't or something like that, you would be able to message them, let them know that you're removing their permissions or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, I see that playing out with the site owners a lot more in
Uh-huh.
Deliver Point. So yeah, when you're producing perhaps permission report across multiple site collections or hub sites and associated sites or teams, whatever it might be, and you see something not quite right with the permissions on these sites, then you've got the contact details for the site owner, which again, you might not know that person. They could be other side of the world to where you are working. So this gives you that way of seamlessly being able to communicate with them and so on,
Right.
which is great.
Yep.
So yeah, it's we're delivering great functionality, but yeah, the browser needs to be upgraded to support it, and that's something that yeah, like I said, we are aware of, but yeah, we are for the interim having to create a sort of side version that will give you some of these extra features, but not all, which
Right.
is of course an extra challenge for us. It's an extra challenge for our users as well, because they're not just going to receive the CDN updates and things like that. So we need to make sure
Yep.
that they're up to date. So I guess the quickest and easiest thing is to upgrade your browsers.
Right.
But
Right.
if you can't, because yeah, we understand what internal systems are like and so on, then at least you will be able to use the side
Yep.
version that we create. So
Right. Yep.
cool. So yeah, I guess that's that. But apart from that, went extremely smoothly, and
Right.
it's a
Yep.
fantastic product. Some great enhancements. In fact, I've been putting together a lot of the training videos today on some of the new features, so they're all
Okay.
up on the site. So
Oh,
yeah, you can
great.
go check those out. So we've got some new things coming. So we thought we'd wrap up this month talking about the next release of the Lightning Conductor, which is in 4 months' time. So I guess we're looking at what July. Sorry, July. So yeah, in July we have really one major feature plus a few other little enhancements as well to come along. But I think yeah, it's really worthwhile talking about the major feature in this show. So yeah, there's going to be the release in July, and then a further one which will be in November.
Right.
So yeah, the July release, one of the things that we're working on is the Microsoft 365 group source, and let me sort of explain the thinking behind this one. So at the moment in the Lightning Conductor, and for years previous to now, the way that you would basically go and aggregate content with the Lightning Conductor, you had three choices. One is to use the client-side object model. You could use search, or you could use Microsoft Graph now. So using the Microsoft Graph, we're specifically pointing it at a graph query, such as, I want to aggregate planner tasks, or I want to aggregate OneDrive items, or I want to aggregate to-do lists, whatever it might be. With the client-side object model, we're navigating via the object model. So whether it's classic site collections or hub sites and associated sites, you get a tree view that's presenting you the ability to navigate down to whatever scope you want to aggregate from. So it might be that you're going through selecting certain sites that you want to aggregate from, and then telling the Lightning Conductor, from these sites, I want to aggregate task lists, or I want to aggregate content matching this content type, or something along those lines. And that
And
could be.
I was just going to say, and I would say that for a lot of business users, they read object model and they don't know what that means.
That's scary, isn't it? Yeah.
It
So
sounds like a developer speak.
yeah. So you can aggregate entire site collections. You can aggregate from a hub site and the associated sites, or you can select certain sites, or even be very granular and choose individual lists. Now, what's changed over the last couple of years with the whole modern experience in Microsoft 365 is when you create a new site now inside of SharePoint, you are actually creating a Microsoft 365 group. So that's created at the top level site. Of course, if you create a subsite, then that's not a Microsoft 365 group. That's still, just a subsite. But the top level sites are effectively Microsoft 365 groups. And there's other ways also of creating Microsoft 365 groups. So not just with SharePoint, but if you use Outlook, you can create a Microsoft 365 group that way by creating a team. That will create you a Microsoft 365 group, and also via Yammer and Planner as well. So there's multiple ways of creating this Microsoft 365 group, and that 365 group gets a shared email address. So it has an inbox as well. It has a shared calendar as well. It also has a document library through SharePoint that you can access. It has a OneNote notebook. It also has, what am I missing here?
The SharePoint team site.
SharePoint team site, and also Planner as well. So it has Planner plan. So these are now a whole bunch of things that are organized into Microsoft 365 groups. So what is intuitive for us, because we've kind of grown up with SharePoint, is the fact that we still go through and navigate through the site collections, even if it is a Microsoft 365 group. But somebody new to SharePoint or to Teams, of which, when you look at the Microsoft figures, there's a lot of new people coming on board with SharePoint and Teams all the time.
Right. And they often, we find, they often don't have any idea that there's SharePoint on the back end. They don't realize they even have SharePoint. They just know they have a team.
Exactly. So it makes sense to me that we should actually be allowing people to select their aggregation of content through the Microsoft 365 groups. This is something that we're going to be developing. So yeah, you might find that one person has created a group called sales, another person has created a group called sales and marketing, and this happens all the while, that you're getting sort of duplicate groups being created and different people using it. And that would become obvious in this, the way that we would navigate it, but it would also allow you to aggregate from those groups as well. So and it may be even deliberate. You may have EMEA sales and US sales as two separate groups, and you want to create an aggregation of the content from those two groups. And whilst you can today still actually do that, it's just the mindset of doing it, and actually being able to select via the group as opposed to via the sites and the collections. So that's going to be quite a major change. And of course, we'll backward support everybody with the with the previous version, so it's likely to come in at a new sort of aggregation engine. And yeah, we probably will come up with something that sounds less developer-y.
Yeah, I think that'll really help people, because right now, for example, if you, we had the examples that we've been using this month, where you might want to create a Lightning Conductor that shows different views of SharePoint tasks, planar tasks, to-do tasks. And to do that, you create one view using the object model to get to your SharePoint tasks. You create the other views using the graph rollup. But this way, they could they may need to be separate views, but you could at least approach them from the all going from the Microsoft 365 groups, and you wouldn't have to know that they're coming from graph versus object model.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I think it would just be so much more intuitive to do things that way. But the same functionality will exist. If you wanted to aggregate your planner tasks from these groups, then you could still use that planner tasks view that we've just released in 3.5. And likewise, with things like the document libraries coming in from SharePoint, you'd still have the views that we offer with that, the tile view and all the conditional formatting and that type of thing. And of course, we've got a nice calendar view that we've had for a long time, but also there's the new one, which is the I forget the name of it. Is that the events agenda view? Yeah, so the JSON agenda view. That would also be a nice touch to be able to aggregate using that from your different shared calendars in these task groups. So
yeah, for sure.
good.
Cool.
So yeah, that's
Yeah, I'm
something.
looking forward to that already.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great great release as well. So I think we decided that's going to step up for a major version number for the Lightning Conductor. So we'll be going to 4.0, and yeah, by that time, hopefully, Edge is we've upgraded,
Right.
and we're only 1 month away from IE 11 legacy from being dropped. So hopefully everybody's upgraded that too, and everybody can get back on track with the with the new version.
Yep, cool. Great. Well, thanks very much for telling us all about that new upcoming release. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And so I guess next month, I think this is it for Lightning Conductor for a few months now. But next month we've got quite an exciting release coming out for Lightning Forms. So that should be good. So we have two versions of the Lightning Forms. One is a sort of classic add-in, so you can customize your list forms, and we also have the modern one as well, which is modern responsive. It's very intuitive to use. Was great, so you can build in lots of exciting logic into your SharePoint list forms. So that's coming up.
And I think the new release will have some user experience improvements and things like that in it.
Yeah, but we'll save that for next time.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Well,
Okay.
great talking to you again, Sandy.
Yep. Same here. I'll talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye.